hanyuma uyu munsi rero tugasangira muri prostate bamwe barabara n'abacuruzi bwa mbere n'abaje muri hoteli abakobwa bato kenshi turagendagenda mu kaboneka turagendagenda mu bihugu uyu munsi twagiye hamwe agahunga umenya ni gato ariko agahimba gato ku bagabo ariko bakaje amaso ni gato ariko karakomeye cyane ni akanyeri bita prostate ni agahimba gakomeye nokuvuga yuko ibihimba by'umugabo donc ibihimba by'umugabo niko byemera benshi bakabona benshi bagenda kugira ngo bamenye ko byagakora iki ariko prostate tweza kuraba neza kugira ngo umuntu wese yitaho cyane hagati y'abantu b'abagabo kugira ngo bashobore kwitaho. Rero prostate ni agace inyama reka gusa usanga ko nta mugore agira prostate ubimenye ahantu tugasanga murahabona umubyeyi akamaro n'ingana akaziga agatukura iyo ni ibita vesi cyangwa umushinga ukabona uruhango iyo vesi rero iyo umwanda mutoya cyangwa umwezi ako mubona mubona agafresh kuvuga prostate normal
Hi, amazing people. Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing amazing. I hope you're all ready for the Ego Manager launch, EMR 27 launch. I hope you're fully ready now as we are getting ourselves. This meeting, you know what you need to do? You need to inbox them. You need to send them a message on their WhatsApp. Send them, hey, we are about to get started. We are getting started. So they need to log in. They need to make sure that they're in the meeting. All right. So send them a reminder, send them a quick call, send them a little push that we are getting started. And as the launch, I would say even more importantly, I'm ready for EMR 27. Now I'm flipping my internet here. I realized that I was connected to my phone, so I'm changing my internet just in case I disappear a little bit. Don't worry about it. I'll be back in a bit. All right. Okay. I don't want that. I want this. But all in all, I hope you can all hear me very well. Free to let us know where you're listening this meeting from. Where are you listening the meeting from? Are you All right, I'm back. Sorry. I was connected to my phone. Now I've fully shifted to the Wi-Fi, so I'm definitely good to go. Okay, and I was just chit-chatting here, and now we are really getting started. Okay, I'm gonna okay, fantastic.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, amazing leaders across Africa. Thank you so much once again for your time. And let me say massive congratulations to each and every one of you, for taking your time off your super busy schedules, taking your time, out of working with your team, prospecting, presenting to people, and you say, you know what, let me first invest in the most important of a business, which is none other than yourself. You are the most important part of it. If you are not focused, if you're not fired up, if you're not excited, if you are not strategic, if you are not pushing, if you're not showing up, if you are not game on, if you are not on that mode, then definitely you and everybody, before you, or rather everybody is in one way or the other gonna suffer a little bit. It's gonna suffer a little bit. So let me congratulate you for being here on this powerful evening, guys. This is gonna be powerful. It's gonna be one evening that is gonna, awake your belief, and it's also gonna challenge your belief. It's also gonna add conviction to your growth, and even more importantly, we are going to hear and learn on how exactly we can be able to smash this one crucial, most important incentive in Forever. Now, Forever offers a number of incentives, and this one incentive is without a doubt the most important. And let me tell you something, years back, Forever came up with this incentive because they realized there was a gap. There was a gap of what should someone do as soon as they finish manager. There was a gap. A supervisor knows exactly what they need to do to get to assistant manager. An assistant manager knows exactly what they need to do get to manager. Now, once someone gets to manager, then you've got a whole lot of options. There is senior manager, driver to drive. There is qualifying for GEM. There is a lot of things. And then they said, now people are getting confused. And because people are getting confused, when we are confused, then we cannot be effective. So then Forever came up with a brilliant, I would say one of the most brilliant ideas ever, that is called Ego Manager. So they created Ego Manager. And this is the idea. Once you hit manager, your next focus should be Ego Manager. Once you hit senior manager, your next focus should be senior ego manager. Once you hit soaring, your next focus should be soaring ego manager, and so forth and so forth. When you focus on ego, whichever position you are, it will help you to focus in building your business correctly. Because if you're a senior manager and you're only thinking about going soaring, don't care about the performance of your manager. You just care about creating. When you think ego, whichever position you are, you will start now to look at the managers that you have and see how best can you work with them. Now, I understand those are probably not the worries of most of you here. Most of you here need to have only one major to get yourself, because perhaps this could be that here where you actually get to qualify as an ego manager for the very, very first time. And that is definitely exciting. And if you don't know, when we go for the ego manager retreat, those that have qualified first time, they get something special. The last Ego Manager retreat, they even had their wristband was different. The color of their wristband was different. They were invited for somewhere that the rest of the Ego Managers were not invited. So it is special. It is definitely special. Now, with that said, amazing people, I want to take this moment too. I know it has begun. I know we are already 1 week. 1 week of Ego Manager is already done, gone, dusted. And for some people, they are still thinking about April, but 1 week is done. 1 week of Ego Manager is done. So let me officially to remind you and to speak to your mind and your heart that the brand new Ego Manager has officially started. And I want you to join me by going to the chat and write these words. Write, it has begun. It has begun. Pushing. If you are not game on when it comes to the Ego Manager, well, I need you to be game on right now because it has begun, amazing people. And I'm going to share with you some exciting numbers just to let you know that, we are going on the right direction with Ego Manager. And I'm going to start with Africa. I'm going to share the figures of Ego Managers in Africa. I shared this in Cape Town. A number of you are not there, so I'm going to share them again. 2024 versus 2025. And I'm going to start with the most important thing, which is the CCs. And the reason why I'm sharing these CCs, because I want you to see the connection between the growth that we have in Africa and the growth of Ego Managers that we have in Africa. I want you to see that connection so that if you are here looking for growth, one of the areas you need to look at is, are you becoming an Ego Manager? And are you creating Ego Managers? Are you tracking the number of Ego Managers in your amazing team? So in 2025, that is last year, 2024, 2025, Africa grew by 39%. We are talking about the sales of a continent, the whole of Africa, went up by 39%. And that is amazing. That is big. To grow your personal small business 39%, it is tough. Now, to grow a continent by 39%, it is definitely remarkable. But let's look at what really caused this growth that we are seeing on the surface. All right. And as of right now, we are talking 2026, we are already up versus 2025, 4.2% already up. And I'll tell you one thing, real growth in forever, or rather bigger growth in forever, normally begins in May. From this month of May until when we close December. From May until we close December, we are going to experience massive growth. And I'm excited to see where we're going to end as Africa. Definitely, we're going to beat what we did in 2025. Now, look at the number of Ego Managers. This is for the whole of Africa. In 2024, we had 167 Ego Managers in the whole of Africa. In 2025, the number grew to 222. 222. You see that growth in the Ego Managers? It resembles the growth that we are having in our sales as well. We had a growth of 33% in terms of number of Ego Managers, and we had a 39% growth. See that resemblance? To understand that focusing on Ego Manager is not just a hype on the surface that you'll get a trip. But I mentioned this in Cape Town. The trip is only 4 days. It will be a mistake, an error for you to break your back, to push like crazy, to sacrifice everything for 4 days experience. For me, not worth it. But if you sacrifice all that to build a massive business that lasts long term, it is definitely worth it. We again moved from 222 to 307 Ego Managers. And you know what? I gave a feedback to JB of the report that we are getting now of Ego Manager. Some of you are not in the report, although you have finished the Ego Manager, because you've got your supervisors in global CCs. So we'll see you on the list on the 60s. So that number is going to increase. But all in all, I'm going to take that number. And if you look at it, it means that's a 38% growth in the number of Ego Managers, 2025 versus 2026. So when we go to Sun City, in a few months, we're going to have more than 600 people from different parts of Africa manager retreat. So that's just telling you one thing: the number of ego managers is growing. So you need to be part of that, of the ego managers. And if you've done ego manager, we need you to do it again. Now, let me come back to my country before I invite our guest speaker, our main trainer for the evening. You know, I'm just here to warm up the stage for the most important person of this evening. How we can smash this ego manager. I'm telling you, the journey of ego manager is incredible. I went back. This is only for Tanzania now. When I say Tanzania, I mean Tanzania, Zambia, Rwanda, Burundi, 4 countries together. I'm going to share the numbers. In 2021, 4 countries, we only had 1 ego. You imagine that, right? And I can tell you, before that, we had 0 ego managers. And you wonder why? How can 4 countries produce 0 ego managers? All the big shots that you can think about, if they are in Tanzania or Zambia, us included, or Rwanda, Burundi, did not make it to ego manager. You understand? And then 2021, you know what? We got back at it. Ego manager started to come back into the 2022. We grew to 2 ego. my partner. She's coming to talk to us as the driver of this business, as someone that is pushing this business, someone that is tracking our business, following up on our business, someone that, you know, I used to share this long time ago, how I was growing. And then 2009, I met her. And when I met her in 2009, guys, you know, I was like growing slowly. And from 2009, I started to shoot up to the sky. And I can tell you for sure, all that became possible because of the genius, the brains, and the focus and the work ethic into our business that has taken us to where we are today. And I am super happy to tell you what we have achieved this year in terms of ego, in terms of our level in ego. It is something that we've never done before. So we have achieved something for the very, very first time. And I do not take credit for that. Let me tell you something. I'm giving the credits, all the credits to our, of course, we first glorify the God up there, you know, for making it all possible. So I want you to understand that you'll be learning from not just a diamond sapphire manager. That's the position. It's fantastic. It's nice. You're not just learning from a GLT. That's a good, massive, respected position. But in this evening, in a special way, learn from a sapphire ego manager. And not just a sapphire ego manager, a sapphire ego manager with 7 lines of egos, not 6 lines. You only need 6 lines to become a sapphire ego manager, but 7 lines of ego manager. That means once we hit 6 lines, we could have slowed down and said, it's okay, it's enough. But we said, no, we push on 7 lines of ego manager. So ladies and gentlemen, my dear brothers and sisters, let me see enough love and Vimoto fire emojis onto the chat to our one and only Dr. Elizabeth, Sapphire Ego Manager. As the floor is yours, all the best, my leader. Thank you so much. And take it off. Thank you so much. Ooh. Guys, I forgot to unmute my wife. You see now, I'm about to be in trouble.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, my amazing husband and leader. Wow, when I just hear you speak about it, I just and you keep on talking. So thank you so much. And like you said, everything that has happened in our business is not because of any one person. Even if he gives me all of these feedbacks, all of these pats on my back, but I can tell you, I am so grateful to God for this partnership between me and my amazing husband, Enos. I thank God that he put us together, because I know it's not just for ourselves, blessing to so many people, everything that has come on our path. And guys, I am so excited to be speaking to all of you guys, and I take this opportunity very strongly because I see very big representation from all around South Africa, Rwanda, Burundi, my Tanzanians in the house. I take this as an African opportunity, because this is the time we want to rise, not just as Tanzania or Eastern Africa, but as Africa at large. And I believe is going to spark something inside you, because I prayed for this, and I know you have prayed for this brand new year of ego, and I know God is about to do something amazing, not just for yourself, but for the whole of Africa. So put some fire in the chat for Africa. You can put your country flag, because you're not just here to represent your family. You are here to represent Africa. You are here to represent your country. So even if, as we are going for ego, you know, I remember back then, as we were fighting for certain goals, some of them, you know, you get to a point you're about to give up on a certain goal. Then you think, what will this mean for my country? Does it mean that these things are happening all around the world, but they are not happening in my country? No, I can't let that happen. I have to push so that I represent, you know, in that growth acronym, the R stands for represent. So you are here to represent, but also you're representing your family. You're representing what is possible for yourself and for your community. So I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to be speaking to you today in this Ego Manager launch. And like Enos has shared very powerfully, we have been able to achieve so much. remember when this year came, this has been my word. You know, in every year, you can have your word. That is a reminder for in that year. So for this year, I knew we were going for something big. So ever since the beginning of the year, I've been telling myself this and reminding myself that with God, nothing is impossible. And I actually did a painting and I wrote those exact words, and they're there in my house. When I just walk by the library area, I see this painting with these words. It reminds me there is no dream too big. There is no God, because you have power because of God that can work in you and through you. So we have been able to achieve so much. Diamond Sapphire managers, gem bonus qualified, forever to drive level 3, and these that I'm listing here, I can tell you, one of gives me so much pride and gratitude is the Eagle Sapphire manager. And I can tell you that all the other goals, all the other achievements happened because we have always put our focus on Eagle. And that is why it reminds me of the words of our founder, said, in this business, if you want to succeed, you need to teach ego, you need to coach ego, you need to become an ego and to train even other egos. So all of this means the main focus for you to build a growing business is on ego and nothing else, nothing less. I know there is so many people who are hearing me for the first time all around the world, and I can tell you, I left my career as a doctor. Professionally, I'm a medical doctor, but then when I met this business, the freedom part of the business really spoke to me, and I said, I'm gonna do this as a way to build something solid, to build something that will not need me. Now, when you have a big goal of creating something big, it's not just earning some small money that could take you. Of course, I started like that. But even when I was starting the business, I wanted freedom. And I knew after looking at this market, you will know that for you to get the complete freedom in this business, you need to build leaders. And there is no better place for you to build a solid business from the Ego Manager Incentive. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But of all these things that we have been able to qualify for because of this business, I can tell you, I'm so grateful for the Ego Sapphire qualification. We finished, like Ino said, with 7 Ego Manager lines. This is something that I can tell you, if I could show you my phone, so many goal. It was the goal. We started with the goal of gem bonus qualifiers. After hitting that, we said we need to hit the Sapphire Ego Managers, because what we do, all it takes to make our money. So when you speak of making money, no matter what your managers do, because otherwise your managers have to perform at a certain extra income into your account. So we have achieved this with 25 Ego Managers in the team for this year. And I can tell you, by chance, but it also came because we designed it. I believe so many things are able to happen in your life, in your business, but they need to draw the line. They need you to draw the plan for them happening. They can't just easily happen. We say the best life lived is like a life where you set a goal, you work on it, and you achieve that goal. Because nothing happens by chance. You need to design the life. Because at the end of the day, we were the smartest, we were the hardest working. No, we realize there is power in the grace of God. And I believe that all of us here, we are under the same grace. We are able to maximize on the grace to excel in anything that we are doing. So I thank God, because it was not only on my vision board, it was in my prayer board. We have prayed for this goal. We have offerings for this goal, because everything you want, you must show and not just be casual about it or just let it happen by chance. So I thank God because all of this has happened. I thank God because He answered the prayers of our downlines as well, our downline managers who were also working so hard, but then they found increase because of Him. So thing is possible. Remember this and never forget it. With God, nothing is impossible. It may look so hard right now, but with God, it is possible. When you think of our goal, when you think of this achievement that Enos and Elizabeth have done, don't think that they're so highly out there, they're so excited. No, with God, nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. So let's go right in and dive in this brand new ego year. You know, like Enos shared, we have to forget what happened in the past. Forgetting doesn't mean we don't dwell in celebrating. We are already 1 week past this current ego. So we need to focus on this. It has started. It has begun. What do I mean by that? Whether you did an amazing ego year last year, you qualified for ego, you had a lot of people ego, forget about it. Don't let it dwell on you too much and causing you to walk around like you are a winner and you are wasting the time to win in this new year. So the brand new ego year has begun. From the 1st of May, it began. And it's end on my birthday, 30th of April. Important and sometimes not urgent. Why? You are not waiting to get to the end of the rope for you to panic. No, you are panicking from now. It has started and you're focused on your ego from now that we are already in the qualification period. Now, when you look at this picture, I know some of you probably have it on your screensavers, in your laptop, or probably in your phone. What forever ego manager? See that ego, your heart sinks because of all the times that you have worked so hard for it and you didn't achieve it. Probably when you're looking at this, you already qualify it that this is something for me, for a certain kind of managers. What comes to your mind? Do you think that this is something easy, or do you think it's something so hard that I can't even get my mind to focus on going for this? Again, whatever we think in our mind, we tend to make happening. So when you look at this ego, I hope you're seeing yourself as one of these. And I hope in this training today, after we finish, you'll also move in that direction a little bit more. And that will be such a benefit for me, sharing with you what I got here. Now, ego manager incentive. And what is it? I'm not talking how to qualify it. What is it really? Why was it introduced in Forever back in 2010? Because it was introduced in 2010. It was not part of our marketing plan. But then after thorough analysis, they thought that for us to enhance our people's experience, for us to enhance how our people are changing their lives, we need to introduce this incentive. And then it was launched back in 2010. Now, why was it launched? And are you maximizing on the reasons why this ego manager incentive was lost? Enos just shared that it was to bridge that gap between manager and the other bigger incentives. There was not something that was bridging that gap, helping someone to know where they can focus on first so that they can also get later to those bigger incentives. Now, when I look at ego manager incentive, yes, it's the stepping stone from being a recognized manager to you transforming your life. Being a recognized manager doesn't mean that you're going to transform your life. We have so many recognized managers in the team in Africa whose lives are not transformed. They have probably gone back to their common problems that they came out from. Why? It's all about what they did after they became manager. It's not about you getting to manager. Yes, you have done a lot. You have demonstrated that you have the power to go ahead. But the fact that if you will go ahead or not, it depends. What are you focused on? If you don't focus on ego manager, it will be very difficult for you to transform your life as a manager. So this is the stepping stone that you can step on so that your life gets transformed. And I'm talking important ways that matter. We all need finances to transform our lives. Now, you cannot get to the next level of fully transforming your life if you're not going for ego. You know, before manager, it's so clear. Any non-manager in our teams, it's clear for them what they should not miss. 4CC. Every month, they have to not miss for this business. We call these are the building blocks for you to build a strong, solid business. Is the 4CC. Now, ego manager is the 4CC of a manager and above. This is that building block for you to build a strong, secure business. Now, don't look at it as something that is so extra. No, it's the basic for someone who is building a strong and secure business. So look at it as the 4CC of a manager and beyond. It is proof that you're getting it right. You're focused on the right things. You're not wasting time in your business. It gives you a clear structure. It helps you create a clear structure. You know, all the time we are talking about, I need the right structure. I need the right structure so that I will achieve the bigger things, the bigger incomes in my business. Now you're thinking, what is that good structure? That good structure is ego manager. It means when you're focused on having 3 supervisor legs in a year, that is helping you to create that. If you just go around your business, you'll end up not sponsoring. You'll end up not doing anything. It's like a normal non-manager who would probably not even do 2CC or just end at 2CC if there was no 4CC. But now, as a manager, what is that thing that guides you? That shows you what you need to do to build the right structure for your business? Ego manager. It's a perfectly structured incentive to ensure that your business is growing the right way. So it's a sure way of you maximizing on your business. You know, after you become a manager, we say it's like your business has officially started. We celebrate this a lot when someone gets to manager. Now, after it has started, how can you maximize on it? Go for ego. Higher incomes, but also stable incomes. It's not just about growing your incomes today and then it goes very low tomorrow. No. For stability, you need the ego manager structure. Ego manager structure that every year advisors that is creating for you a stable income, that your income will not only grow but it will too. But also that is also going to help you set the tone as you're stepping to chairman's bonus incentive and beyond. So this is really something you should be focusing on. Imagine how you're telling your down 4CC. This is how you should tell yourself to not miss ego manager incentive. It's the same thing. So the benefits are tremendous. You will get exclusive recognition and training, especially at the ego manager retreats. But also this preparation we are talking about here, preparation for you and for your business, for chairman's bonus. You know, it takes a lot of work and tenacity for you to achieve chairman's bonus, something that you have to focus on every month for 12 months. Now you need to train for that. What is the better way to train? Through ego manager. Go for ego manager. See how you need to focus every day for your business to hit ego. And then the same things, the same transformation that you'll have gone through will be able to grow you a chairman's bonus business. The same people that you have developed in your team to manager, to supervisors, they'll help you in your chairman's bonus journey. So it's preparing you, it's preparing your business. You will not earn the average incomes of a normal manager. And I believe all of you guys here, you want money. You may probably not want it a lot, but you need money. You know, when we went to Cape Town, just call it the cash cow that you can use to make do the things that are important to you, whether it's investing, whether it's helping others, whatever it is that is important. Now, how can you do that if you don't go for ego? You'll be satisfied with very small money if you don't set your goals at ego manager and beyond. Imagine earning twice the just because you stretched and became an ego manager. You can also move up with ego. And this is something probably most of you don't know. Yes, you can be a soaring manager by having 5 frontline manager lines, or you can do the same just by helping 3 different lines get to ego. You'll also be a soaring manager. Now, this way of moving up, it's not in the same year. It doesn't have to be in the same year. It just has to be 3 ego manager lines that you have created. For you to be a soaring, 3 ego manager lines that you have created in the lifetime of your business. So it means ever since you started, for every year that you did your core qualifications, those new manager lines that you are adding, they add up to your ego. Even if you didn't qualify for ego that year, probably I'm a soaring manager. I didn't qualify for ego because I only had 1 ego in that year, or probably it's not a new ego, because you need 1 new ego so that you can become a soaring manager. But all of those will be counted. If I'm a sapphire and I've not qualified, but I have someone in my team who is qualifying, they add up to what we call ego manager lines. And I know most of you guys don't know, but we are diamond sapphire managers, not because we have 17 frontline, 17 frontline recognized manager. We have them now, but we qualify for diamond sapphire through the 10 ego manager lines that we created over time. Now, some of these ego manager lines we created while we were not recognized as egos then, especially before we had the new criteria for soaring egos. So there were years where we hit our core qualifications, but we didn't have 3 ego manager lines. So we were not soaring managers, but those new lines who became ego, they were added towards our diamond sapphire qualification. You can become a diamond by helping 15 lines in your business become ego. Now, this is what we call the right and stable and solid kind of business. You know, it's easy to just create a manager, but imagine creating a manager and helping them become ego. That means your business is a lot more solid that you have created. The income that you're going to earn from that is a lot more bigger. And that is why Rex Mohan said, teach ego, train ego, coach ego, become an ego. Because that is the most determining factor of a solid and secure business. But ladies and gentlemen, let me break this to you. None of these matters. That, Salema, our CSM, wants all of us to become egos. That doesn't matter. The most important thing that matters is you, because you're the only one who is holding the key right now to your true potential. You will not miss ego because you can't do it. No, you have that potential. You have that power within. You have that ability within. But will you turn that key or just hold that key? That will make the difference. You hold the key. It is you to decide today in this Ego Manager launch that what are you going to do with that key? What are you going to do? How will you use that key that can open the door for you to become an ego manager and transform your family's life, transform your country? We have people who represented their country. And when you do that, you make a lot of other people believe that they too can do it. What will you do with that key? It begins with you. It begins with how you want to use that potential that God has put inside of you. Sometimes we think like we have all the time in the world to do anything that we want to do. But God has a timeline of your life. He knows when your time is out. He knows the power that he put within you. But imagine going back to him and telling